Two civilizations, both over 3,000 years old, both home to over 1 billion people, both rising from poverty at the exact same time. But only one is on track to reshape the entire world order. The question isn't if, it's which one. And the answer? More complicated and more dramatic than you think. Here's the fact that shocks most people. In 1990, India and China had nearly the same GDP per capita, the same income, the same level of poverty. Two giant nations, neck and neck, staring at the same starting line. Then China sprinted. By 2025, China's economy hit $19 trillion, the world's second largest. India's? $4.3 trillion? China is now 4.5 times bigger. In just 35 years, China pulled off the greatest economic transformation in human history, lifting 800 million people out of poverty. That's more than the entire population of Europe and the United States combined. How? One word: factories. China became the workshop of the world with massive government investment, state-directed industrial policy, and export-driven growth. By the 2000s, the label Made in China was on everything from your sneakers to your smartphone. India took a completely different path. Instead of factories, India built an army of software engineers, call center workers, and financial analysts. Its growth engine? Services, not steel. Two giants, same starting line, completely opposite strategies. So who's ahead today? On paper, China, by a mile. But look beneath the surface, and the picture gets very interesting. The IMF projects India will grow at 6.6% in 2025 to 26, the fastest of any major economy on Earth. China, just 4.8%, and slowing. India is now the fourth largest economy in the world. Goldman Sachs projects it will overtake Germany and Japan by 2030 and become the world's third largest economy this decade. But here's the uncomfortable truth India's fans don't want to hear. Manufacturing, the sector that actually creates mass employment, is only 14% of India's GDP. For China, it's 30%. China's highway network is 5 times larger than India's. China graduates nearly twice as many STEM students. China spends 2% of GDP on research and development. India spends 0.7%. And 4 of the world's top 20 tech companies by revenue are Chinese. India has 0. India's growth is real. But it's a growth that's lifted the top of the pyramid, the engineers, the consultants, the entrepreneurs, while hundreds of millions of workers at the bottom are still waiting for the manufacturing revolution that never came. China's model created jobs for everyone. India's model is still figuring that part out. But a superpower isn't just measured in GDP. It's measured in power, in military, diplomatic, and technological strength. And this is where the rivalry gets uncomfortably real. In May 2025, India launched Operation Sindoor, precision strikes on terrorist infrastructure inside Pakistan. But the world was watching something else. For the first time ever, advanced Chinese military hardware was deployed in live combat against India-aligned forces. Pakistan's Chinese-made J-10C fighters and PL-15 missiles went head-to-head with India's French-built Rafales. Chinese Beidou satellites provided real-time targeting intelligence to Pakistani forces. Military analysts called it China's DeepSeek moment, a battlefield debut that shocked Pentagon analysts and sent Chinese defense stocks soaring 40%. The message was unmistakable. China isn't just India's economic rival. It's building a military encirclement by arming Pakistan, building ports in Sri Lanka, and expanding influence in Nepal, Myanmar, and Bangladesh. India wakes up surrounded. In space, the gap is stark. India's ISRO successfully landed on the Moon's South Pole in 2023, a genuine historic achievement. But China has already landed rovers on the far side of the Moon, is building its own space station, and has operational anti-satellite weapons that India cannot yet match. Nearly 60,000 Indian and Chinese troops remain permanently deployed on opposite sides of the Himalayan border. This is one of the most tense military standoffs on Earth. This is not a friendly competition. This is a cold rivalry with the potential to turn hot. So who wins? China's advantages are massive and real, a 35-year head start. A manufacturing base that dominates global supply chains, military hardware that just proved itself in combat, and a state that can build infrastructure with a speed that democracies simply can't match. But China is running into walls it cannot easily escape. Its economy is deflating. Its population is collapsing. Its property sector is in crisis. And globally, the world is actively trying to de-risk from China, moving supply chains to Vietnam, Mexico, and increasingly India. India has youth, democracy, English language advantage, and a $4 trillion economy growing faster than almost anyone. Apple now makes iPhones in India. Tesla is considering it. The world's largest companies are diversifying away from China, and India is the main beneficiary. But India's challenges are also real. Inadequate infrastructure, a manufacturing sector too small to employ its billions, entrenched corruption, and a political environment that sometimes prioritizes identity over industry. The honest answer? China is the superpower right now, full stop. But if India can solve its education, manufacturing, and jobs crisis over the next 20 years, it has the demographics, the democracy, and the growing global alignment to become something China will never be, the world's most powerful and most free major economy. This isn't a race with a finish line. It's a generation-long story still being written. What happens between India and China over the next 30 years will determine the kind of world your children grow up in. If this opened your eyes, hit subscribe, because we're just getting started.